I became a congressman to represent the people of the state of São Paulo in the best intention of my nation. What the Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes and his accomplices are trying to do is use my mandate as a tool for manipulation, coercion, and as an instrument of the state of exception in an attempt to imprison and prevent me from representing the best interests of my country. It would be more than comfortable to stay quiet, receiving an excellent salary and pretending to defend the people of São Paulo and my Brazilian brothers, rather than facing this cowardly and inhuman system. But I did not accept this calling for comfort and convenience. I accepted this calling to defend the values of our civilization. I embraced this vocation as a commitment not only to my family and my nation, but as an alliance with God, a vow of loyalty that only a man of integrity and faith can understand. I will not cower, I will not submit to the state of exception and its dirty tricks. Thus, in the same way I took on the parliamentary mandate to represent my voters, I temporarily renounce it to better represent the millions of fellow countrymen who entrusted me with this noble mission. I will take a leave of absence without salary so I can dedicate myself fully to seeking the appropriate sanctions for those who violate human rights. Here in the United States of America, I will focus on seeking justice and the proper punishments for Alexandre de Moraes and his FBI destacment who blindly follow his illegal orders like Gestapo. You, jellyfish man, small and vain, are not used to dealing with men of conviction. You thought you could blackmail me with the benefits and privileges of the politics, but you couldn't have been more wrong. The best parliamentarians, those truly called, are not caricatures clinging to bureaucrats' titles. I boldly resign to all of this pomp to stay strong to my mission of bringing justice to all the tyrants who violate basic human rights. I'm talking about you, the psychopaths who imprisoned mothers, elderly, and all kinds of ordinary and innocent people. I will embrace this sacrifice with enthusiasm, dedicating 100% of my time to this unique cause, deliver justice, to create the environment to release the January 8th hostages and other persecuted individuals who are part of Bolsonaro's administration, the people who are paying the price of the cruelty of a psycho who dreams imprisoning Jair Bolsonaro and, in his disillusion, thinks that by doing so, he will destroy the greatest popular movement my generation has ever witnessed, led by our eternal president Jair Messias Bolsonaro. I will not rest until I build the international framework that allows for clean and fair elections with broad opposition participation. There is no democracy in a country that behaves like Romanian Supreme Court or Nicolás Maduro's Venezuelan narco dictatorship, where opposition leaders who bring crowds to the streets are prevented from running because of the unscrupulous euphemism of tyrants. I emphasize that my position as a federal congressman, especially being the most voted ever in Brazil's history, and the son of the most popular president in the recent story of our country, made it easier to open international doors. However, these doors are now open. Now I need time and full dedication to continue working and representing not only the people of São Paulo, but all Brazilians. On this journey, I can only thank God. A movie played in my mind, and I understand how extraordinary is the divine providence. Few know this, but on the same day that Labour's Party congressman petitioned the Attorney General's office to seize my passport on February 27th, I was flying with my family to the US on a flight that I had booked just a few days earlier. Probably neither the Moraes expected that I would spend the carnival holiday abroad, considering I had just returned from a trip from the United States 2 days earlier on February 25th. I have no doubt that God, in His infinite wisdom and kindness, protected my family and me so that my mission to bring justice would not be interrupted by the schemes and plans of the scoundrels of the moment. Thus, I never imagined I would pack a 7-day suitcase to never return home. But today, I see clearly that God is showing me the way. I'm sure my voters understand that my work at this moment is far more important here in the US than in Brazil. As Professor Olavo de Carvalho used to say, you don't fight a dictatorship by living inside it. Everyone in Brazil knows that Alexandre de Moraes is capable of doing anything, even when it's clearly illegal or unconstitutional, even if there is a contrary opinion from the Attorney General's office, as he has already done it in the past. Speaking about the Attorney General, Moraes gave to him 5-day deadline to respond a simple yes or no question about seizing my passport. However, more than 18 days have passed, and the Attorney General has not responded that question. It would be outrageous, but in the current Brazilian relative democracy, no one should be surprised by the seizure of a congressman's passport or even his imprisonment without justification. In fact, much worse things have already happened. Just as the death of Clezão in prison, or the nearly 9 years prison sentence of Congressman Daniel Silveira, who received the pardon from the then President Jair Bolsonaro, and for the first time in the country's history, a pardon was cowardly cancelled by the Supreme Court. The unjustified preventive detentions of Felipe Martins, Anderson Torres, Silvinei Vasquez, and many others, as well as the up to 17 years prison sentences of elderly women, such as Iraci Nagoshi, a lady of 71 years old, or the hairdresser and mother Débora Rodrigues dos Santos, arrested for writing with lipstick on a statue the same phrase said by the Supreme Court Justice Luiz Roberto Barroso, "You lost, fool." Who, in their right mind, can expect any decency or morality from a state of exception regime? How can someone expect justice from a request to seize my passport and imprison me preventively made by Labour's Party congressman and sent directly to the hands of Alexandre de Moraes without any distribution? In other words, I will be judged by a declared enemy, by the very person I have denounced abroad. I will be judged, how said the judge Marco Antonio, who is Moraes' advisor, by the guy who wants to get me anyway. Do you remember the articles of Glenn Greenwald? This is the person who is criminally inserting me now into the Disneyland coup d'etat, also known as the January 8th coup d'etat. It certainly isn't easy for me to temporarily step down from my position as a federal congressman. It isn't easy to know that my father may be unfairly imprisoned and perhaps I will never have the chance to see him again in person. I have no doubt that the plan of our enemies is to jail Jair Bolsonaro, to kill him in prison or leave him forever there, just as it would have happened with President Donald Trump if he hadn't been re-elected now in 2024. However, life is made of decisions and sacrifices. If this is God's plan for my life, I surrender myself, body and soul, so I may be an instrument of His will to be more useful in the liberation of my country, to stop the totalitarian frenzy of an unlimited cycle. Yes, I accept the sacrifice with honor. I will live life away from my friends, family, and homeland, but I will not rest until justice is done and my nation is freed. If Alexandre de Moraes wants to seize my passport or even imprison me so I can no longer denounce his crimes in the United States, then it is precisely here that I will stay and work more than ever. Alexandre de Moraes, my life's goal will be to make you pay for all your cruelty towards innocent people. I will be fully focused on this objective. I will only return when you are duly punished with your crimes for your abuse of authority. Finally, I would like to thank the excellent work of my party leader, Congressman Sóstenes Cavalcantes, who did not bend to the Labour Party pressure, and to the integrity and commitment to legality of the Speaker of the House, Congressman Hugo Mota. The Representative Zucco will be appointed in my place to be the chairman of the Foreign Affairs and National Defense Committee. He will help me institutionally to keep a bridge with the Trump administration and the good relationships with democracy and developed countries. Together, we will work on the most sacred mission a congressman can have, to recover the freedoms lost by Brazil. May the free world help us keep this noble cause alive. God bless Brazil and give me the means to fulfill my mission. God's homeland, family, and liberty. God bless Brazil. God bless America.